Lego Batman does not change the Lego formula in any way. And yes, this is a full-on formula by now. Traveler's Tales has made a number of these games by now, and the core game design has remained exactly the same. You can either tackle a level with a dim-witted AI buddy, or your slightly less dim-witted real-life buddy. There's still no online co-op. I mean, come on, get with the new millennium. Online co-op is a pretty standard thing now, and this game is not so intense that it shouldn't be an easy thing for Traveler's Tales to pull off if they wanted to. So once again, you're stuck only being able to play on one screen with a buddy if you want to play together. Now if you have a buddy, the two of you will then, surprise, smash lots of blocks, collect Lego pieces, and flip switches at the same time. Now that's not to say that this is a bad formula. There's quite a lot of things to like about the Lego games, but we've seen this so many times before. You know, all the good stuff from a Lego game is here, but so is all the bad stuff. None of it's been fixed, so any problems you had with previous Lego games, pretty much going to be the same problems you're going to have with Lego Batman. Now the big difference is that this is the first Lego game that Traveler's Tales has made that's not based off a movie franchise. This isn't recreating all the stories from different Batman movies, and this isn't even recreating stories from Batman comic books. You know, in both the Lego, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones series, these were kind of familiar stories, and you got to see a funny take on them, but Lego Batman doesn't have that restriction. It's just simply based off the Batman universe. And unfortunately, being free of those restrictions didn't actually get Traveler's Tale to make an interesting story. This is just your typical, every villain in the world has escaped from Arkham Asylum, and Batman's got to go through a bunch of levels trying to catch them all. It's really just an excuse for Traveler's Tales to add in as many random Batman characters as they can, and they really have thrown everything in the kitchen sink into this game. The cast of characters is actually a high point of the game. You play 3 acts as Batman and Robin, and both of them are given different suits that have special abilities. Now, if you've seen any Batman toys in the last 20 years, you know that they love to come out with a variety of different Batman and Robin suits. Well, that's what they've thrown into the game. So, you know, Robin, for example, is going to have a magnet suit that allows him to walk on metal walls. Batman has a demolition suit that allows him to blow things up because, you know, Batman's all about blowing shit up. These suits help break out the monotony a little bit, and they do add some kind of clever puzzles to levels. Now, once you beat those 3 acts, you're going to be able to play 3 more acts as the villains from Batman. And the cool thing is that you're actually just playing the same levels, but through the bad guy's perspective. So you're kind of coming from the other side of things until you run into that kind of battle that you had with them as Batman and Robin. Probably no surprise that it's more fun to play as the villains. After all, they get a whole bunch of stylized powers. For example, Poison Ivy can kiss a guy and make him sick, or the Riddler can control people's minds. Mr. Freeze can freeze people with his freeze gun. There are a lot of characters from all over the Batman universe, as far-reaching as Hush, who's relatively new to the comic book universe, and as low-reaching as Killer Moth. You remember Killer Moth, right? Yeah, me neither. Apparently he's a moth that likes to kill people. Even though it follows the same overused formula that we're getting a little bit sick of, it's still fun to play. And in fact, if Traveler's Tales had just fixed a lot of the problems from previous games, this would be the best Lego game made yet. But it's a little bit unacceptable at this point to have all the same issues that have been from day one. Now, if you're not tired of the series, you're still going to have a good time with it. And if you don't like the series, this really isn't going to change your mind. You know, the same problems apply. Some of the puzzles are very obscure, and you'll be standing around without knowing what to do, which is a pretty big problem in a game that's designed for kids, because you figure if somebody who's played games for the last 20 years can't figure out what they're supposed to do, some 6-year-old kid is probably also going to be pretty lost. And more importantly, the AI buddy that you have, he's still an idiot, so he's going to be standing around while getting shot. You know, sometimes it's hard to get him to stand on a space that he's supposed to stand on to help unlock a door, for example. And I think also, as annoying as it is, you're still going to fall just because you can't judge a jump accurately. Now, as with all LEGO games, there's lots of stuff to unlock, and there's plenty of reasons to go back and play through the levels again and again, so if you can ignore the faults and really enjoy LEGO Batman, there's going to be a lot here for you to find. Plus, you know, it does have Killer Moth in it, and how many games can say that? The answer, not nearly enough. For the full written review of LEGO Batman, do the Batusi over to IGN.com.